Hey Miley, thanks so much for sending in the video for your serve, and thanks for being brave enough to let me put it on my YouTube channel. I hope, and I know that some of the things we can help you with are going to help a lot of people. The tips we're going to give you are going to help you not just with speed, but with consistency. We're going to give you some tennis serve tips to help you be more consistent and hit your serve harder. I know your dad was mentioning sometimes you have a tendency to have a couple double faults, so we're going to talk about that. And I think before, I definitely see something that's going to allow you to swing your racket faster. It's going to allow you to hit harder, and I compare it to the ground strokes. Some people will come and they want me to teach them how to hit their ground strokes harder, but they're not limited by how fast they can swing their racket. They're limited by their understanding of something else. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Before we get on to the second problem, which is kind of how to use that racket to hip link, I want to just talk to you about basically the kick serve. For the sake of the kick serve, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated shots in tennis. There's very few people or concepts for the sake of the kick serve. Is one of the most overrated shots in tennis. Unless you're, pushing 6'5" and have a lot of upper body strength, it's extremely difficult to get a ball to actually kick up outside of someone's hitting zone. And what ends up happening is a lot of people just end up kicking it up in their hitting zone and they end up putting it away. But however, the idea behind the kick serve, which is getting a forward rotation over your head, is very important, and you do want to still do that. I just think when people try to kick it, they end up, again, much like ground strokes, they'll get too much spin and not enough compression, and it's not really a very impactful ball. But basically, Miley, you do want to get a forward rotation over your head when you hit the ball, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that, but the important thing to remember is when you do get a forward rotation over your head, it makes your acceptance window bigger. It allows you to hit higher over the net. So I'll show you here this kind of myth of, this is just kind of serve trajectory reality. Here's a very hard hit ball by a pro player, very flat, hard ball, and you'll notice even this ball is not a straight line from his racket to where he's hitting it. That doesn't really exist. You're going to get some drop from gravity. You're going to get some drop from air resistance. So even the flattest, hardest hit ball you hit, Miley, you're going to be hitting forward on that ball, and you're going to get some help from loft. Now, even that's a very low percentage serve. So the flatter pros hit, we even see pros in the 65% first serve range because their acceptance window is so low. So what your goal should be is to get a forward spin and be able to adjust that spin based on how consistent you want to be. But how do you get a forward spin over your head? Well, to get a forward spin over your head, you want to make contact on the inside of the hand. So you see how my racket's on the inside of my hand, and that's as my racket's still pronating up and out. A common mistake to hit that prevents people from hitting a forward spin is they hit the ball at full extension, and there's really no room to brush up. So to hit a forward spin over your head, you got to have a little flex in your arm, and you got to let the racket be not fully extended above the hand where you'll be for like a flat or a slice serve, but you want the racket on the inside of the hand again, so you have this room to brush up and over the ball. And you can see that ball again, it doesn't have to be an exact 12-to-1 spin, but you need that forward spin to make it go higher over the net. And notice how quickly my arm pronates out to the left in this case. I'm flipping everything around here for you since you're left-handed, but so I think you're close on a lot of things, but I just notice, and I did talk to your dad specifically about this, about, make sure she's trying to do what she does on her second serve to be consistent. And these did look better than the previous serves you hit me, but you can just see how long it takes you to pronate. You're still kind of getting a 3 to 9 at the best shape spin. So that might be good for a slice serve, but that's not really going to allow you to get higher over the net, hit harder, and still drop it in further, if you know what I mean. So your contact point still too much above the hand, I would say. You're still kind of brushing down into the court. You're not really getting enough of a forward rotation, in my opinion. And we know this because if you were, this racket would be way pronated out. You'd be in the wristwatch position much earlier here. And I'll show you that in the split screen with me here. And a lot of these other issues, Miley, where you're open early, your body's kind of jackknifed, you don't have a straight, what's called a power line. And we'll talk about, when you're trust hitting forward and trusting that spin to bring it down, you're not going to try to, you're able to toss further in the court. When you toss right over your head, you kind of have to calculate how much to hit it down. So you just can't hit as high over the net. But a lot of the stuff is going to fix itself when you fix one, trying to get a forward rotation over your head, and then two, the second thing we're going to work on with you to hit it a little harder. But so that's when you should see how the racket's really on the inside of my hand here more. And this is a very hard hit serve, so my body is still going up. That's going to give me some upward spin too. You'll see how your body kind of is coming down into the court as you're hitting it. And you see how long it takes for your racket to turn out. So you're still just kind of getting a slice. You're not getting a forward spin on the ball. And eventually you do get the wristwatch position, but I think you're going to end up in that position earlier. A good drill for you to do, I could think of, might maybe hit serves and let your racket go behind your back. Would be a good serve drill for you to do. Here's Federer. I just want to put him as a lefty here and let you see really how up and over the net he's hitting, how much of a forward spin he's getting on that ball. See him go from here. He's still brushing up over the top of that ball for his second serve. And you see how much his racket pronates out. So you got to know, how do I get a forward spin over my head? And it's a very subtle difference. To be honest, there's really not too many drills you can do. It's more of an understanding thing. But one drill you can do, and this is also how you should think of yourself when you're playing, is think of like you're being on your knees when you're serving. You don't want to try to get taller and extend as high as you can. You actually want to feel really short when you're serving, like you're hitting from your knees and then hitting up over the net. And then you'd be surprised, once you get this right, how hard of a serve you can hit from your knees and get it to go in. Okay, now the other thing, Miley, once you work on that, now we can work on hitting harder. And that's where this link from the tip of your racket to your elbow is a link, and then the elbow to the shoulder is a link, and then the shoulder to the hip is a link. And there are more, but this area right here is really what we're going to focus on, Miley. To really get these links to work well, you want to feel a lot of stretch in the shoulder area down to your hip. And you're going to notice you kind of do something here with your elbow where it starts to drop back down. When this racket should be collapsing back over your head, your elbow's kind of dropping down. So this racket should be way down here at this point, and then you should feel the stretch in the front of your arm. And to me, this looks like a very tight position where you're probably feeling the tension more on the back of your arm. So you're losing some power just by not letting that racket drop over your head early enough. This will make more sense when I show you the timing. But basically, this racket should start to drop back behind your head before this elbow link begins to start to go forward. And you'll see how the racket stays kind of up. So you're going to be a little late to get that full stretch in your body. But again, it'll make more sense with the other thing we're working on. If you're not getting a forward spin over your head, you don't want to swing fast. You have to, because you're not using forward rotation to make your acceptance window bigger. You're hitting low over the net or gravity, so hitting softer or proximity. And so you want to, once you understand that first concept, it's going to help you understand that it's going to make you want to swing faster, because the faster you swing, the more forward spin you get, the safer it becomes. So it's going to help you want to hit harder. But I'll kind of show you the timing here. Yeah, see how that elbow drops back down there, Miley? When your elbow's doing this move, during that time is when this racket head should start to be moving back over your head. And then your elbow should feel like it's pulling that racket head back and around. And I see this a lot. I mean, it's natural to not want to drop that racket head down around to the wrong side. You do a pretty good job, but to truly deny the ball the strings, let the wrong side of that racket drop back around, is really a very different feeling. And I don't have a ton of shoulder mobility, but you can kind of see here just the timing of when that racket starts to drop over my head versus when my elbow comes forward. And then kind of look how your elbow starts to regress a little down when it should be dropping. So it's very subtle, but it can add serious power to your serve, Miley. And again, remember, it only works if you're getting a forward spin over your head. Again, not too many drills for it, but one great way you can feel it, Miley, is to secure, sorry, this is right-handed, but secure from your hand to something, a bench or some device where you're anchored down, and you can pull the rope, and you can even tie something to your racket head, and you can get that feeling of getting the tension through the front of the shoulder down to the hip. This is that tension throughout your body you want to feel that you're not getting enough of when you don't let that racket drop back in timing with the elbow and the other legs coming forward. So this is a good drill you can do to get that feeling better. Anyways, I hope this helps. And obviously, I'll be in contact with you to go over more details and talk to your dad and give you some more drills. But I just wanted to thank you for letting me share this video and show you a couple drills and a couple ideas that I think are really important to learning to serve better. Anyways, Miley, good luck. I think you're going to do great. You're very close now, and I know you're going to get them. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.